What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. This is episode 7 now on the series. I have an absolute banger of an episode for you guys today. As you can see, we have the Mark 1 GTI up on the hoist, but a little something different. You can see there's nothing going on. If I lower this down quick, you guys can take a peek in the engine bay. There is nothing. I stripped this entire car down, and today we are going to be rebuilding this to its former glory. Obviously, we don't have the paint booth or a welder, so we can't clean up the body anymore or do anything else on the interior. But today we're going to be piecing this thing back together and taking it out for a little rip. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the new subscribers that we've got here on the channel, and all of the great comments and feedback that I'm getting from you guys. It really, really does mean a lot to me that you guys are enjoying the content that I'm making. So thank you so much. Seriously, it means the world to me. So let's first check out our inventory here. If we come up to our inventory. Secondly, actually, before I get into that, you can see we are now level 15, baby. And we have quite a few upgrades to use. At level 15, you wouldn't really have this small of a shop still, so we're going to be stepping up our game even further still. We also have $71,000, and I've already bought every single piece to put this GTI back together. So we are really ready to go. I've got everything we need to get started here. But before we do that, let's go over to the toolbox and upgrade our shop a little bit here. So at level 15, we're going to be capped out here. So I think I will be saving a couple of skill points just so once we get to level 20, we can go straight ahead and get another one, 25. And then finally, at level 30, we're going to be able to do some engine swaps. So at that point, we'll be swapping this engine with a much larger turbocharged engine that should be able to make this thing just scoot around the track. So let's do some upgrades here, see what we got. Obviously, the first thing that comes to my mind is our repair tool, because we're currently at a 50% repair rate, which is not the best. That's like only half. We really can't repair a whole lot with that. So let's upgrade the repair tool to 2nd tier, and then 3rd tier is 75. I am really tempted to do that, or we have 100% faster part installation and removing. I think we should go with that. Either way, we're going to be able to unlock our next garage upgrade, so we'll stick with that there. And then here we go for the win right here. Expands your garage, adds another car lift, warehouse, and another parking spot. So we really need another parking spot so we can do more work at one time. So let's go ahead and upgrade this. You guys would have seen it before, but take a look at it now. It is insane. So we do have the engine crane over here. I almost wonder if that means that we'd be able to actually use this now. Oh my god, we can. Okay, so we'll oh god, that's really exciting. That is super exciting. So if we create new engine here, you can see the one that we had is a single overhead cam, this one here. So I have everything that we need to piece this engine together. But now that we can swap engines, I'm really tempted to do the dual overhead cam turbocharged. Oh shoot, is that even an option? Hang on, I gotta find it in here. Here we go. The I4, so inline 4, dual overhead cam, BFM. I have no idea what they're getting at with the BFM. I'm sure that's probably just like a random engine code that they sort of created, but 279 horsepower and 281 foot-pounds of torque. That is a monster of an inline 4. So I think, why don't we just put that on this engine stand and we can start building that puppy up. I'm super excited for that. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we should probably at least piece this thing back together. And then really quick, I'm just gonna sort of we could do it piece by piece. So let's get on it here. Go to part mount here, and let's see. We need the I4B engine block, so let's buy one of those. I'm tempted to do some upgraded parts here. If I type i4B, obviously that's going to give us the upgraded turbo. So let's get one of those. That's $1,000 right there. The engine head for an i4B, we're going to need that. And then since it's, I believe it's a dual overhead cam, so we're probably going to need 2 of those i4B camshafts. i4B air filter is probably a good idea. I don't know how that works actually when you do a swap, but we're gonna buy that anyways. We can obviously sell a lot of this stuff once we're done. We should need 4 fuel injectors, so we'll get 4 of those. Intake manifold for an i4B, I'm assuming that's what we're gonna need as well. Power steering pump, and then exhaust manifold. I really don't know which one it uses. I think it's this i4 turbo, so we'll just buy that quickly, not a big deal. Okay, so that should do it for the i4B performance parts. So let's head back to the main shop here and get the i4B block. There we go, i4B block. Now we can at least start piecing this thing together. So let's mount the engine block first. There we go. We can slap our upgraded turbo on there. Oh my god, dude, that thing looks so sick. It's even got like a red turbine in there, like a red fan blade. That's so weird. I kind of dig it though. I mean, it works. All right, fuel filter. I believe we can get a performance fuel filter. So let's hop over to the performance website here, or the tuning shop, and let's get ourselves a fuel filter here. There we go. Fuel filter. We can get an upgraded fuel pump. We're gonna need that later on. So let's put our fuel filter in here, the upgraded one. There we go. We don't currently have a dyno either, so I don't know if this is gonna work for sure. This whole thing could be a bust, but I really hope it's not. We need a water pump for an i4B. We can chuck that down there. 2 bolts, looking good. Okay, idler roller A. We should have one of those from the previous engine we were going to be building. Crankshaft i4B, there it is. We are just blowing through our money. We had 72,000 when we first started. We're at 61,000 already. Alternator, we can get an upgraded alternator, so let's grab one of those. There we go, upgraded alternator. We are going to need some spark plugs in here, so let's grab some upgraded spark plugs. 4 of those. Throw our alternator on here. Whoops, wrong one. Gotta get the upgraded one on there. Perfect. 2 bolts on the top. Mount it to the accessory bracket. We have power steering pump. We got one of those that's upgraded. Looks good. And then oil filter for the i4. I don't believe they have upgraded oil filters. It would kind of be silly if they did. And then we have flywheel back here. Is there anything in the upgraded section for upgraded? Oh, there is. Okay. So we're going to get upgraded flywheel, upgraded pressure plate, upgraded clutch disc, and then it looks like we're going to have to use the factory throwout bearing or release bearing. So let's put the upgraded flywheel in there. We can get the upgraded clutch plate. I like all the red accents for the upgraded stuff. That's pretty sweet. I'm surprised the pressure plate isn't also red. Oh, it might be in the center. I can't really see it from here. We'll be able to see it a lot better once we get it in the car, just before we mount the transmission. And then just barely, we can get the throwout bearing or the release bearing in there. And there we go. So that is the flywheel done. Now what we have to do is we have to get some upgraded pistons. What am I doing? Get 4 of those. And then, do they have rings? I don't think they have upgraded rings. No, it doesn't look like they do. Okay, so we already got some piston rings. So let's put our piston in here, the upgraded one, of course. And some piston rings. Yes, I'm sure we want to install that. There we go. On to the next. And there we go. We got all 4 of our upgraded pistons in there. Now it's going to let us slap a head on it. Should we rotate this thing around, or should we just do the head and then we can rotate it? Let's do the head first. We do have an upgraded head, so we can put that on there. Looks good. Exhaust manifold i4B. So we actually got the wrong upgraded exhaust manifold. So we're going to have to get the i4B, that one there. Now we can actually mount this guy up there. There we go, a couple of bolts. Actually, this is less bolts than normal, which is kind of nice. 4 bolts mounted into the turbo. There we go. All right, we are looking good. Dude, this thing looks freaking sick. We need another idler roller. Okay, we can put that one on there. And then intake manifold I4B, we do have an upgraded one of those. Just a couple of bolts here across the top. All right, now it should let us do our injectors here. So we'll start from the back and work our way forward. There we go, I4B, upgraded injectors. There's gonna be some high flowing injectors. We're gonna be able to make a lot more power with these babies. Last injector right there. They're calling these fuel rails, which technically they are part of a fuel rail, but they're more commonly referred to as injectors. We get a V6B throttle. I'm sure there's an upgraded one of those. Throttle V6B, there it is. Which is funny because it's not a V6, but no matter. We'll just keep trucking. 4 bolts to mount that to the intake manifold. Okay, we are looking so good, dude. All right, now we got to put our camshafts in here. We got 2 of those camshafts, the upgraded cams. Okay, and then just a single cam gear, the single overhead cam gear. We already have one of those from the old engine. And then what is this belt? Cert belt A for I4B. We're gonna have to grab one of those from the store. Cert belt A we got. Now we add a belt tensioner. We should have one of those. And then timing cover I4B, slap that puppy on there. Couple of bolts required for that. A couple of long boys. Now we can get the crankshaft pulley mounted up in there. Looks good. And then cert belt B for I4B we did get. So we're good there. We need another idler. There we go. Mount that up in there. Perfect. Okay, so for the timing section of the engine, I'd say we're about done. Let's head up here to the top. We can get our spark plugs put in here, the upgraded ones. We're not going to use those crappy non-NGK ones. Those are some champion plugs. We don't want to use the champion plugs. All right, now we just have to put our camshaft caps on, which I don't have because they aren't the same from the last engine. I4B camshaft cap. Got 8 of those from the store. Now we can start mounting these up. All right, last one, 2 bolts. And there we go. We are done with the camshaft caps. We don't have the head cover for this, so we're gonna have to get one of those from the store as well. I4B engine head cover, also known as a cylinder head cover or valve cover. Perfect. Get this thing mounted up. Just a couple bolts on the top here. This thing looks sweet, dude. I'm super pumped. There we go. All right, ignition coils. We should have upgraded ignition coils in the tuning store. There we go. Some red tops. Get 4 of those. And we'll just drop these in here quickly. No big deal. Looks good. All right, and there are no ignition wires for this, which is kind of strange, but we won't pay much attention to that. We have cam gear A back here. Let's get all focused in on this guy. Single bolt through the center. Now we just have to get the timing chain for I4B. I already had all this stuff, so this is going to take a little bit longer. I don't know how long this episode's going to turn out to be. But originally, I had it in probably the 15 to 20 minute mark. So if we can stay in there, we should be all right. Cam gear I4B. Cam gear B I4B. That's a lot of B's, man. Bees! Put that cover on there. 5 bolts around the outside. Okay, we are looking good here. I think that's all we can do on the engine from this side. So let's go ahead and rotate this thing over one more time. There we go. And let's get these rod caps in here. All right, rod caps complete. Now we just have to move on to the crankshaft bearing caps. 3 of those. Same as the other engine. Not a surprise. It is still a 4-cylinder. There we go. All right, so it should let us put our oil pan on. I already got one of those. 4 bolts. Oh my God, dude. If oil pans only had 4 bolts, sheesh. I think everyone would probably work on cars. Most have like 22 or something. I guess we probably can't fit the exhaust on here. Let's go to part mount. Yeah, it looks like we're done there. So let's get this crane over here. Get the crane moved over to the engine stand area. Car lifter A. All right, so how do we do this? Take off engine from crate. Install engine into the car. Oh, I'm assuming this probably has to be down. Maybe. God, dude, if we can't do this, I'm gonna be so upset. Okay, install engine into car. The BFM engine. And there we go, dude. It is in there. Look at that thing. Oh, that is so sick. Okay, let's move this crane back. Place it back where it came from. All right, and let's start fitting up everything else in the engine bay that we don't currently have in here. So we get the brake master cylinder, and I'm trying to think of the other name for this. Oh my god, brake booster and brake master cylinder. All the different names that this game throws in there really messes with my head. All right, we have a new battery. We can put a battery in there. Got a new radiator. We have radiator, fan, housing, and fan. We're looking good in the engine bay. So the other thing I was curious about was this air filter situation. It looks like it's gonna keep the same air filter as it had before. Get the red filter, put our cover on here, and then we're gonna have 4 caps or 4 clips from the outside. These are always kind of a big pain in the butt. All right, looking good. Okay, so that should do it for the engine bay. Everything is looking spick and span. Dude, that looks so awesome in there. I'm so pumped about that. You can only when you get around to the back you can see that upgraded turbo that we put in there. But we'll leave the hood up. I'm sure we're gonna have to go in there to, you know, add the starter and a bunch of other stuff. So let's start on the front cross member section. So we actually have somewhere to mount the new engine that we've put in there. Get the cross member put in. We have 4 bushings all the way around. Okay, now we can put our steering rack in. Brand new steering rack. We got a brand new sway bar. We got brand new everything. I'm not even gonna say it's brand new because that's a given. Inner tie rod. We got to get our front knuckles put on. 2 more of those. Outer tie rod. There we go. Single bolt at the bottom. Let's get the other side knuckle on there. Inner tie rod and outer tie rod. There we go. All right, so we got our steering figured out here at least. Let's move on to these lower suspension arms. 2 bushings in there. Looking good. Okay, we can do the front axle knuckle covers. No bolts required. Front wheel hub. Gonna need that. 3 bolts on the backside. Put our wheel bearing in there. And now we can do our front brake rotor. Got new pads. Of course they're new. New caliper. Mount that up with a brand new cylinder. And there we go. So we got that whole side completed. I do believe we have, yeah, brand new complete shock absorbers. So we'll throw those in there. Now we just have to get our sway bar our sway bar to connect to our shock. So we'll do that with the end links there. Come over to this side. We got to get our knuckle cover in there. Lower suspension arm. Front wheel hub. Put that in there. And the wheel hub bearing, and back to the brakes. You guys kind of get the gist of this. I'm not trying to bore you, but I did want to show as much reassembling as I possibly could. So that's kind of what we're doing today. But then after this thing's back together, dude, hopefully it doesn't matter that we don't have a dyno and we can just go out and rip this thing around. I got a controller close by, so I don't have to try to keyboard cat my way through this. That always sucks. Any driving game, if you're using a keyboard and mouse, don't do it. It's stupid. You're gonna have a bad time. If you don't have a controller and if you have like a steering wheel, whew, bud, you're set. You are set. All right, so we gotta get a new gearbox in here. We are going to go for the upgraded i4 gearbox. I did already buy the OEM i4 gearbox, but we're going to step up our game now that we have that upgraded clutch in there, and we're gonna get the upgraded gearbox right there. 6-speed, baby. Mount this thing in there. There we go. Should be good. And then starter we're gonna have to get from the engine bay. Got a front drive shaft we can chuck in there. 2 axles. It is front wheel drive. Over here we got to put our other axle in. Mount that up quickly. Okay, now we can drop it down, put our starter in so we can finish up with the engine bay. This thing's coming together pretty quick, dude. I'm excited. I just can't wait to drive this thing. There we go. Got our starter in there. I'm sure there's an upgraded starter, but we just won't worry about that for now. What is an upgraded starter really gonna do other than just last a little bit longer? All right, moving on. We can close up the hood here, lift her back up, and we can go work our way to the back of the car. Look at that, dude. We got front brakes, we got front subframe, we got the engine in there already. We are making quick work of this thing. Okay, middle muffler. Got one of those. Rear muffler V8. Again, I'm sure there are upgraded exhausts we can get for this thing, but I'm not too worried about that right now. We're not going to be racing anyone. Not in this thing. We got an upgraded fuel pump. Help get a little bit more fuel up to those upgraded injectors that we got. Got the rear axle in there. Let's get the both knuckles on here. Get the wheel hub. Now we can get the solid control arms down there. Got the leaf spring plate at the base and 2 U-bolts on either side of that, locking it in. All right, looks good. Let's get a rubber bushing over here on this side, and then get the solid rear drive axles in here. 4 bolts. There we go. And this car actually did come with drums. I was doing a playthrough on one of these that just needed a brake job, and I don't know if there are different versions of them or not, but that one definitely didn't have rear drums. So kind of bummed that ours has rear drums, but it's not a huge deal. I would just rather have 4 discs instead of rear drums and front disc. Got our rear shock absorber, 1 bolt, super easy. And there we go, we are done with that side. Let's move on over here to, I guess since this is a European car, this would be the passenger side. And we should be done, I think, with the rear. Or no, sorry. We have to get the solid axle control arm on this side as well. Somehow we're going to be able to put a rubber bushing in there. We might actually have to remove the exhaust just to accomplish that. So let's take that down. There it is, rubber bushing. You can't really get too mad at it for having intersecting parts like that. It is a mod after all. And modders, I know, have a lot of support from the devs in this game, which is great, but modding's still not easy. Like, it is no easy feat to import models into a game that the model was not intended for and have it work seamlessly. So I completely understand there. Farming Simulator was kind of the same thing. Some mods were good, some mods were kind of junk, but that is like the whole car done. Literally all we have to do is mount up some wheels, and hopefully we can be moving under our own power here. So let's get all 4 of these wheels put back on here. They are a square set, so it doesn't matter front or rear. All right, we got all 4 wheels put back on there. Let's lower this thing down quick. Let's get this thing all the way off and see if we can go rip it now. So we have brand new everything. Like, it's all completely restored. This thing, although it doesn't look the best, it better rip. So let's head over here and see if we can go to, well, probably just the practice track for now, or the test track, and we can see what this thing is capable of. There we go. Oh. Yep, we kind of forgot about that. Let's add some engine oil here, and we'll be on our way. All right, there we go. Got the oil topped off there. Close the hood back down. Let's come back over to our garage door and see if we can finally go. I'm really hoping that we can. Awesome. Okay, it's gonna let us go. Let me grab my controller here. We're gonna see what this thing can do. And you guys can see I do have a custom license plate there. It says GG. Got the Iowa license plate on there. Oh god, dude, I'm kind of nervous. I hope it doesn't fall apart. Oh my god, this is phenomenal. Okay, so we got a little weaving section here. There we go. The controls, although they would be considerably harder on keyboard and mouse, the controls for this game are just impossible. Suspension test there. Knocked out 1 cone, not a big deal. And then we have a brake test coming up, it looks like. We have to stop in this zone. We didn't exactly do that. Can we back up? There we go. Look at that. We did it. We actually did something. So I wonder if that'll give us a... Oh, you know what? We could use that test track for testing vehicles with braking, suspension, all of that. Yeah, look at that. Examine parts report. That's super cool. So we could also do that if we had like a transmission issue or something like that. But man, that is so cool. Hope you guys enjoy the expanded shop. We're going to be able to do way more work here, and I am just so excited. I thought we were going to have to wait till level 30 to get the engine crane. Luckily, the game developers are not that mean, and we don't have to wait near as long as I thought. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button. and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.